Good evening. I am Coach S. Spencer of the Dallas Staryu, and I am bringing you our Week 2 Team Builder as we go up against the absolutely disgusting bulk of the Baltimore Blastoises. And as you can see, I'm actually broadcasting from a hotel room because I am currently on a business trip to Houston, and I'll be back in Dallas tomorrow. Tomorrow when my battle is, so you're watching this and I'm already back in Dallas actually. But anyways, going into Baltimore's team. Oh boy. Garchomp, Cresselia, Arcanine, Klefki, Galvantula, Mega Sableye, Blastoise, Lucario, Tornadus Incarnate, Rafty, Leafeon, and Chansey. Now, this team has a lot of potential walls, and it's almost impossible to prepare for all of its walls at once. It's going to be a real challenge to break down his walls, and I'm not sure which ones he's going to bring. And if he brings certain ones, I could be in trouble. However, his offensive core is a little more easy to predict. I do 100% expect Lucario to come because it is a hard check to Mega Gardevoir most of the time. I do think Tornadus Incarnate comes because it is faster than most of my team except for my own Tornadus, and it can put up a lot of work, especially against the fighting types that threaten the Chansey. We could also see an offensive Arcanine or an offensive Garchomp, but this guy seems to be like he seems to like to play with a lot of bulk. And I'm hoping he plays like he normally does. I think he's a little intimidated by me after my win against Brighton last week, so he might try to do a different play style than what he usually does, but he usually just tries to wall his opponents to death, and it's absolutely disgusting. But I do think that his wall core is probably going to be the Mega Sableye and the Chansey. Chansey is a very solid switch into Mega Gardevoir most of the time. And the Mega Sableye is a switch into my fighting types, which would threaten the Chansey, especially the Mienshao, which high jump kick crash damage I don't really want to take all that well. I think that we also probably see Cresselia and either Garchomp or Arcanine, or really any combination of those three, Cresselia, Garchomp, and Arcanine. Any of those could work. We could see Klefki. Klefki could be a problem, depending on what kind of Klefki it is. Blastoise may come to be a rapid spinner, but I'm not really going to try to go for hazards. I don't think we see Scrafty because it gets destroyed. Leafeon, probably not either. I mean, rotom-wash, but probably not. So yeah, let's get into what I'm bringing. So we are going to start off with the Captain Twisted Genie. And this guy right here is mild nature with maximum special attack, and we have 68 in attack, 4 in HP, 4 in defense, and 180 in speed. The 180 in speed will outspeed an adamant or modest Tornadus Incarnate on his team. If he's running Jolly or Timid, though, he will outspeed me, and that could be a little troublesome, but I got Regenerator. But I am running Hurricane, Hidden Power Ice, U-Turn, and Fling with the King's Rock. Now, last match he led off with Galvantula with the Focus Sash so he could set up Sticky Webs. And I'm not going to lie, Sticky Webs could be a problem, especially since I'm not bringing my Defogger or Rapid Spinner. So I'm going to do the old Fling King's Rock trick to try to take that thing out if he decides to bring it. Basically, if I see Galvantula on the team preview, I'm opening up with the Captain. I'm going to fling my King's Rock at him. And then kill it with Hurricane, God willing. It is 70% accurate. We have Hidden Power S for Garchomp, that's really all it's for, but yeah, and then we have U-Turn for Momentum. I do have a very momentum-driven team, and U-Turn also hits the Cresselia super effectively, whatever. Hurricane, really I'm trying to get some confuses with this thing. This is mostly a pivot. That's what he does best. I was considering running Dark Pulse with Flinch, but then I realized I didn't really have anything with Garchomp, so we gave him Hidden Power Ice. So you can check the Garchomp. The next up we got Maytag, and Maytag is running actually a fairly standard set, especially defensive. It's actually going to be a calm nature, not a serious nature. That's why we check these things in the Teambuilder. And it's going to be a light screen set, or screen set. Reflect, light screen, volt switch, and hidden power ice with the light play. And the goal for Maytag here is to set up the screens so that I can start setting up the baton pass with Mienshao. Mienshao doesn't have the most bulk in the world, and every little bit of help will help. Hopefully he switches in Chansey to take the attack from this thing as I volt switch. That would be an ideal situation because I can bring in Mienshao, I can set up a substitute, start setting up while the Chansey gets scared out. They make it stabilize. But yeah, rotom-wash here, Maytag. First time we're bringing it, nothing special here. But now we're going to get into the trickiness of my team this week. And that starts with Chun-Li here. Chun-Li the Mienshao. And this is going to be a baton pass set. We are running max HP, and I've also evened out my defense and special defense fairly well. So Mienshao right here is going to baton pass Calm Minds into preferably Gardevoir, but potentially Maytag or Twisted Genie as well as a substitute. That would be the ideal. Now, Mienshao, if I can bring this in on Chansey, there's no way Chansey stays in Mienshao. That would be way too risky. A reckless high jump kick, or even a regenerator high jump kick if I'm adamant banded or something like that, would OHKO the Chansey, and he's not going to want to do that. So he's got a number of switches. Ideally, he goes into Mega Sableye to try to get that sweet crash damage, in which case I can start setting up a few Calm Minds. And he won't be able to break the sub with Shadow Ball after one Calm Mind, which is pretty amazing. But he could also switch into Tornadus, that's why we're running Stone Edge. He could switch into Arcanine, that's also why we're running Stone Edge, to try to scare those out. So if I try to do this sub-baton passing again, I don't want to reveal my hand if he switches in. I'd probably just switch out after that point, after hitting it with a Stone Edge. But hopefully I can get this thing in on Chansey where he switches into Mega Sableye, and I set up a few Calm Minds. The goal is 2. 1 would also be awesome. It just depends on what I'm up against. Because Deep Voice here is going to be my premier wall breaker. And we are running an offensive Mega Gardevoir this week. Last week we ran a defensive Trick Room. This week we're running offensive Wonder Room. I don't think any of you have ever seen Wonder Room in action, and I really hope that this works out. But we are running Modest. So I'm going to be in trouble if Lucario is Jolly or Arcanine is offensive and Jolly. But we are running Modest, so I can outspeed Adamant's Life Orb Lucario, which I think it's going to be with Bullet Punch. It's, really, he's going to want to hit as hard as possible, and Adamant Bullet Punch does the trick. In fact, it almost echoes the normal variants of maybe Gardevoir here. But we are running Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Substitute, and Wonder Room. Now, if I can get in, so first I'm actually going to start with Wonder Room here. The Wonder Room, if you don't know what it does, it's a field effect, lasts for 5 turns, and it swaps the defense and special defense on both sides of the field. So both me and my opponent are affected by the Wonder Room, much like Trick Room. What this does for me, if I have 2 Calm Minds, like if I'm at +2, Hyper Voice will OHKO Chansey even with its Eviolite, which is absolutely insane. If he's running a physically defensive Arcanine, Psyshock will also OHKO that thing because his defense will go into special defense and that'll allow me to OHKO. Also, since it'll switch my special defense and defense, I become a physically defensive monster who can actually take a Flare Blitz from an offensive Arcanine, which is ridiculous. And I can even take a Bullet Punch from Lucario. Hell, if I'm at full health, Iron Tail, if it actually hits, from an Adamant Life Orb Lucario, does maximum 95%. which is unheard of on Mega Gardevoir. So I'm hoping that this one room comes through both offensively and defensively and allows me to net a few kills. If I'm behind the substitute, I can take out the Chansey. He switches in something to break the sub, and I can take that Pokemon out too. And then he switches in like Lucario or something, and he's shocked when Bullet Punch only does 35%, and I take him out with Hyper Voice. That's the idea here. I'm really hoping this Wonder Room set pulls, I can pull this off because I'm really, really proud of this combination here, and I really want this to work. But moving on to the rest of my team, I do have another wall breaker. This one's a setup wall breaker, and it is Illuminati, the Zoroark. And we are running Knockoff, Sucker Punch, Substitute, and Swords Dance. Now, right away, I have to watch out for Justified from Lucario, potentially from Arcanine, but I don't think he's going to run Justified as Arcanine. Because if I don't kill, then I'll give that Pokemon an attack boost, and I better be in Sucker Punch range, otherwise I'll be in a little bit of trouble. But Zoroark can hide behind a number of things. Now originally I was going to bring Venomoth to force the Psychic type against Cresselia. I do have to watch out for Moonblast. Unfortunately, I do have, if I decide to hide behind Chun-Li, I have to watch out for that Moonblast because it'll hit both of us, and that's not good. Same thing with Jigsaw. I do have a very good fairy weakness this week. But I can still hide behind Maytag, especially if Klefki's in. He's not going to Thunder Wave what he thinks is a rotom-wash. So I can set up the substitute right here, which he'll probably go for spikes or something, which would suck because he'll be able to get all 3 layers up. But we have the black glasses. If I can get the +2, Knockoff has a chance to OHKO the Cresselia. Sucker Punch also. I can do close to 95% to Lucario if he switches in, and then I Sucker Punch him to death. Tornadus Incarnate is one shot by Sucker Punch. So hopefully I can get a Swords Dance up, and I can take out some Pokemon with this thing as well. It is, mostly Cresselia. It's gonna take that down. It's also gonna play some mind games because he's not gonna know if it's Zoroark or if it's whatever Pokemon I have out in front, and he may not want to take a risk and might switch out. But we'll see. But this is Adamant, 252 attack, 108 HP, 140 speed. It's enough speed to outspeed Lucario. If it's Adamant. If it's Jolly, I'll be in a little bit of trouble, but I have Sucker Punch, so yeah. But we'll see how this works out. Finally, we have Jigsaw, the Druddigon. And we are running a Mold Breaker Druddigon. Now, Mold Breaker, as you know, it ignores certain abilities, most commonly Levitate, but also Magic Bounce. And I'm running Earthquake, Payback, Taunt, and Stealth Rock. With Taunt, I'm going to be able to shut down Mega Sableye if he's in. He's not going to be able to burn me, which is pretty amazing. I have Stealth Rocks. I can set up rocks even against the Mega Sableye. I do not fear the Magic Bounce. Payback. I'm running Payback instead of Crunch. Payback, as you know, if you go second, then it doubles its attack, so it becomes a base 100 attack, and that's actually just enough to break the substitute from defensive Cresselia with my defensive spread, which Crunch does not. That would be a big problem if Cresselia sets up a sub and is able to stay behind it. And I have Earthquake to hit things like Arcanine. This is actually my defensive wall to switch in on things like Lucario and Arcanine if I'm in trouble, and it can take those hits pretty well. Neither one of those Pokemon have a whole lot that can hit a Jigsaw right here. But I don't have reliable recovery, so I will get worn down, so I have to be careful about that. But nothing special here, max HP, max defense, the rest is special defense, Impish. Anyway, that is my team for the Baltimore Blastoises. I do have the match tomorrow night. I'm really hyped about this match. I'm hoping to get another dominating win. This is an in-division match, so it is a lot more important than normal because for playoff spots I am battling against the people in my own division. I face each of them twice, and I'm competing for that top spot in the division to be guaranteed a playoff spot without having to try to fight for the one wild card spot in each conference. It's very competitive getting to playoffs in this league. But I'm going to link Ryan Hacker's channel down below. Please be sure to check it out. Leave any comments you have about my team below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to see more. I am Coach S Plans for the Dallas Staryu. A new Staryu is rising, and I will see you this Saturday for Saturday Night Pokemon.